Hello everyone, I'm RK Walker here at NASDAQ Market Site with a Financial Buzz exclusive interview. Alongside me today is Ian Rodwell, CEO of MOKO Social Media. Welcome to the show, Ian.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Why don't you give us a little bit of background about your company?
Well, essentially what we are is, as the name suggests, a social media company, but we think of ourselves a little differently as to how we approach this. We do have apps and mobile content sites, but what we do is we tailor these sites and apps specifically for the audience that we're aiming to serve. And the way we came about designing and producing these products was that we went looking for the audience first and tailored the products to suit that audience. So we didn't come up with an idea to do an app and then say, let's go find an audience. What we did was say, where is the audience and how is it being underserved or not served at all in some cases, and then how can we come and fill that gap and create something bespoke and unique for that specific audience.
So you were looking for a need first?
Correct, yes.
As opposed to building a product that was just great and then people would eventually find it.
Absolutely.
Social media is highly competitive. How do you differentiate yourself?
Well, I think it's like we said, is we pick out these niche audiences that need something different. They need something that the generic and large social networks are not necessarily providing.
Can you give an example of that?
An example would be like what we did in the college space. So one of our sort of main products is that we recognized that across universities across the US, that there was no mobile platform for the students to be able to track and manage all of their intramural sports and recreational activities on their campus. And so we worked together with the universities themselves, and we came up with this idea to create a unique platform called Record, which is an app that the students download and register with, and then they can track all of their schedules, their diaries, their stats and standings, and then social tools so that they can communicate with other students on their campus. So that's a highly sort of bespoke product that can't be solved with a generic social platform.
Right, and I was just going to say Facebook is very generic.
Yes, yes.
This is highly specialized with events, schedules, so it meets students' needs exactly as far as that's concerned.
And what it does is it takes content that the schools create, being the actual schedules and stats and standings, and then puts that into a sort of front-end facing way that the students don't have to go looking for that content, so it's all pushed out to them. And so you need a customized platform to be able to do that.
How's their reaction?
It's been fantastic. I mean, we only launched it in the fall semester just last September, so it's been a sort of an initial soft launch. We have hundreds of thousands of students using the app now, and they use it, if not every day, multiple times a week. And so the reaction's been fantastic, and because it fills a genuine need. It's a genuine tool, and it's useful for both the students and for the universities because they've got to disseminate this information in an efficient way. So it's
so it's specialized enough that they don't feel burnout from having to use another app. It's genuinely useful.
Correct.
Your focus on mobile users, do you think that's more intense than other social media companies, or?
Look, I think the whole world is moving to a mobile platform, and even all of the data around the existing social network. I mean, Facebook, obviously the leader in this whole space, shows that the majority of their users are using, social media from their mobile device, particularly from their smartphone. And that's the same with us. It's probably around 90% of our usage comes direct through a smartphone. We do have some, traffic that comes through tablet and desktop, or mostly a laptop.
You're at 90%.
But yeah.
Isn't that much higher than other social media right now? Or is
I think it is a little bit higher, but I think the others are clearly in that sort of 70 to 90% range. Yeah.
What about your revenue? I know right now you're focusing on growing and gaining user base, but
yes.
Where does your revenue come from right
now?
So
I guess one of the things, being a smaller company, we obviously had to make sure that there was a revenue model to at least work to. So we certainly care about the revenue being obviously the ultimate end goal. But the way we look at revenue is probably a little bit differently as well. It is for want of a better description, an ad-funded type model, although we look at it in a more specialised way. So it's done through things like sponsorship or campaign-specific type promotions, where we'll work with a major brand to have them sponsor certain content because we create content in-house, and then wrap their sort of needs around that, whether it be sponsored video or specific content that they want to be associated with, or maybe their own content that we sort of shape in a way that the consumers or end users want. So we work with them on a sponsorship package, and they pay us for that. The other thing that we're finding that brands want is our social reach, because we use other social networks ourselves. So, we talk about us being different in the sense that we're a specialised platform. We also use the other platforms, particularly Facebook. So we have a very large Facebook audience that we disseminate information through on a daily basis. And that reach that we've developed, particularly over the last 12 months, is significant. We reach around 98 million people on a monthly basis through our different social channels. And so brands want to have access to that reach as well.
You're not charging end users for anything at this point, are you?
No, that's right.
No, okay.
No. So it's free to all of the users, whether it be our partners like the universities or the students or other end users. It's all free, yes.
You touched on your large user base. It's my understanding you've been growing quite a bit since December of 2014. You've had, I think, a 60% increase in your user base.
That's right, yes.
Why is this, and do you see this trend continuing?
Yes, I see it continuing, although you're not going to grow at those kind of rates forever. I mean, you obviously reach a point where that percentage growth slows down as you get bigger. But I think the reason why we've been able to grow so quickly and successfully is because of that tailored nature of our content and our products. We've gone after these specific audiences and filled a gap or filled a need or disrupted something that already exists to the point where the users want to be involved and want to engage with that content. So I think it does come down to the content itself and the utility of the apps filling that need.
You have some big name companies involved with you. Why don't you explain, are they advertisers? Are they clients? For example, Intel, Canon, those are some of the people companies you're working with.
They're advertisers and sponsors who are part of of the products that we're putting out there now. And it is early days, so a lot of these brands, particularly in, say, our active lifestyle area where we're working with, Runhaven's one of the products that's doing very, very well at the moment. Obviously, if you're reaching an audience of dedicated people who are interested in that activity, and in our case, we're actually reaching what we call the millennial mum. So it's women between 25 and 45 who are interested in health and fitness, or they're young parents and they're looking to sort of get back out there and do something active. Brands are very attracted to that for obvious reasons, and so yes, we're attracting some big name brands. And we expect that as we grow out the audience and grow out the size and scope of what we're doing, those relationships will strengthen, and that's where ultimately the revenue will get larger.
Are there any long-term or short-term developments you'd like to let us know about now?
Yeah, I guess, we have three core divisions that we operate in, focus in, but we have multiple products within each of those divisions. So if we take the student division, as we call it now, we have universities. We reach around 950 of the top universities across the country. We recently did a deal where we're now going to provide a version of Record, the university product, to high schools, and then because it's high schools, parents are actually involved in that, unlike in the college space. And we're going to reach around 4,500 high schools in the fall this year. The kind of content that is created there is very unique, to that sort of space, and so it'll attract, we believe, the kind of advertisers that want to meet that audience specifically. So it might be sporting equipment people, or it could be people that are trying to reach the parents as opposed to the student. We're very focused on being, I guess, the number one place that can reach that demographic. So if you're an advertiser or a brand or somebody that wants to reach students and parents, we're setting ourselves up to be the primary source for that, or the primary gateway for that. Now that's not going to happen overnight. We think that this is going to take a couple of years, but because of the exclusivity around the deals that we've done and the apps that we've produced, nobody else can come and create a rival app at this point. So we have the ability to become this incumbent platform. So that's the student space. I mentioned Runhaven, which is in our active lifestyle space. So we're looking to sort of branch into other areas that we think that millennial woman is interested in. So other health, wellness, yoga, those kind of things that sit complementary, to the brand that we have there. And our third category is politics. We've seen another opportunity there to create a series of products and services that will meet people who are interested in not just sort of mainstream politics, but all of the activist type activities around that, so issues-based things that obviously have a political interaction.
You mentioned one of your categories was politics. Why did you choose that?
Yeah, it's interesting, but I think what a lot of people will recognise is that we're now in a new presidential election cycle, and social media played a very big part in the last presidential election cycle, and I think everybody accepts that it's going to be an even bigger part this time around. The fact that also we now have a lot of third-party money coming in via super PACs and things like that the amount of money that's going to be raised and then spent in this new cycle is going to be huge. I mean, the various pundits are saying that it's anywhere between $8 to $15 billion will be spent in this next cycle leading up to November 16. We think we're well positioned to provide the kind of audience reach that advertisers, campaigns, all kinds of other groups that are involved in this political cycle will want access to, and we think there's a big opportunity there.
In summary, is there anything you'd like to say is why you think now's a good time for investors to take another look at investing in your company?
Well, I guess two things really. I mean, one, where we kind of like a startup in the sense that we've been going effectively for 12 months putting all of these new products in place, but we have a rich history of being, building this bespoke platform underneath and having the ability to do that. So we've now proven that the products are attractive. We've grown an audience. We've gone from 0 this time last year to reaching over 8 million people that we announced at our March quarter. And we're growing quite substantially. We think we'll probably get to double that number again in the next 12 months. So it's probably the right time because there is the proof of concept, the growth numbers are there, and now it's a case of getting in now whilst we grow to the next level. Because if we are successful over the next 12 months, we think we'll be much more valuable than we are today.
Thanks. And on that note, we'll wrap things up today.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank again our guest, Ian Rodwell, CEO of MOKO Social Media. I'm RK Walker. Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you again next time.